Yo, what's going on, man? This is Vitamin the Governor, and this is Talking Rock, your one stop shop for rock. And today I have a very special guest with me. We have none other than BreakEasy.
How you doing?
How's everything, man?
Good. It's nice to be here.
I can see that Thanksgiving didn't adversely affect you. You still look in shape.
For my age, I should be okay. I should be at perfect for my physique.
Nice. All right, man. Let's take it to the beginning, man. Where did you grow up, and kind of give us like a early look into your early childhood and neighborhood.
All right. Okay. First, my name is Richard Santiago. My background culturally is Puerto Rican, Peruvian. Puerto Rican father, mother Peruvian. With my mother's side, going a step further would be Japanese. So that's my initial cultural roots. I was born in the Williamsburg section in Brooklyn, New York. I'm a 1966 child. That's the year of my birth. Now, I didn't get into the dance. For the rock, I would say about the same time as b-boy, which for me would be 78, 79. I was like 12, 13 years old at that time. You know, to be a participant of the rock, I was not in the rock lines or battle ciphers. I'm going to come at you as a b-boy mentality. I wasn't in the mix as a battler. I was just another participant in the dance aspect of it. That's my connection to the rock. And I learned it basically by visualizing a group of unknown bikers that were on my block.
When you say unknown bikers, are you talking about the actual motorcycle club called the Unknown Bikers?
Yes.
Okay.
It's an MC. When I say MC from here on, it's not the microphone master
Yes.
ceremony. No, I'm talking about the riders, the motorcycle riders, motor clubs.
Yeah.
So the Unknown Bikers, there was two members that lived on my block, and they used to be in the alleyway behind a store that was also on my block, and that location would be a storage depot, but it wasn't for the store. They used it as their little pit hole for them too. So they would come and drop their bikes in the alley and and put the bikes in the alley, and then they would go into that little storage room that was considered their hut. So in the back alleyways, if anyone knows the alleys, they're interconnected. You got the building, then you go to the alleys, and the alleys got a whole different pit by itself. So when they would play their music, they would just be wilding out, and that's what I saw. They would just go crazy. But I saw that they were doing this dance, and I was like, okay, I was intrigued by it. But I didn't catch on until what they were doing until I started encountering that in my elementary school when I was graduating.
And at that time, when you witnessed the Unknown Bikers or the bikers of that era dancing, were the components of rocking similar to what we seen in, I guess, the 2000s, 90s, or were they just doing their own thing to the music of that era? What did you like? Can you describe what you witnessed?
What I witnessed there was them basically hyping themselves up. It's like when you motivate yourself and you're going, yeah, we're gonna get hyped. You got the coach and is rallying you up to get you hyped. This is the way they were getting themselves hyped. They could have been on some type of acid or something. Of course, because that was their thing. Their thing wasn't all like what we glorified to be or what we think gang MC or gang is about. No, it was the way that they motivated themselves to get hyped before they would rumble. They were actually physically contacting that and all that. Now, at that, I'm going to bring you to the mentality of me watching this as a young child. Because I was a child. I was practically kidding my 13s. So the fact of me observing this guy, I'm like, wow, these guys are fighting but not fighting. There wasn't no defined structure of what we have now, that we have a label saying that this is the jerk, this is the freestyle, this is the burn. No, this was all moshed. Like if you ever saw two guys moshing, and I'm talking about in a pit, but there's mud flying and they're just going crazy and they're slam dancing. Well, this is what I was basically looking at from my perspective at that young age. Now looking back, I can say, yeah, there was no defined structure. Or actually, it was still the early stages of what I perceived the rock to be. Now, mind you, the rock that was done in the MC environment is not the same rock that you would see when you're not in the MC environment. And there's a change for that. And I can go further on with that.
So coming off of what you saw in the MC environment, what were like the early things that you saw to transition it more from people, I was getting high and kind of jousting and doing things with each other to, like you said, hype each other up, or,
Yep.
or their version of pre-gaming or whatever you want to call it. What were the transitions that you saw to kind of bring it into the next stage of its existence?
The first transition that I got to see, in other words, I saw what I saw because this is what was going on in the MC. Rough, dirty, raw, untamed.
Yeah.
What I did see was basically out of a girl on my block, Nilda Corchado. We were graduating. I was going to PS 84 in the South Side because I'm from the Sures. My date, she was rocking much better than I was at that time.
Okay.
This is my date
And when you
because
mean rocking, like what was she?
she was
doing?
rocking.
Okay.
This is what we're gonna go into this. Oh, where now seeing her rock and comparing it against what I saw the unknown rockers doing was totally different. She had more style and finesse. Her stuff was basically, moving the hands, doing the drops, spinning around, doing some jumps in the air because girls used to rock also. And that, to me, she would be my first understanding of a developed rock dancer.
Okay.
Now I can say that rock dancer because now it's in a more social, open environment.
Yeah.
Because what I saw before was closed, dirty, raw, hypeness for them just to get themselves hype. But with the girl, it was because of Nilda Corchado that I got to see and witness what the freestyle part of it, just to be able to dance and move rhythmically to the music. Understanding that now you can do, well, what we considered burns back then wasn't really a burn. It was just basically giving the finger or stuff or coming in close. There was no such thing as a knife. There was no such thing as that. You would just basically, the girls would basically go the finger, and that was basically it. That was the burn. But you had to do it rhythmically to the music. Now, the movements and stuff, I'll give it labels right now, was majority freestyle. There wasn't no such thing as doing a crossover jerk. There was no such thing as a one defined jerk because the jerks came in so many different ways. But there was a lot of drops. There was a lot of spins. There was a lot of jumps with pelvis thrust. This is where I say the jump with the pelvis thrust is because when I took Nilda to the graduation, she had a battle girl called Evelyn. They called the other girl Negra. So it was there that my date battled this girl, and they were dancing, and this is where I got to see it in context, the two girls. And when Evelyn jumped up, she did a pelvis thrust that it hit my girl in the nose. So that's when I'm like, wow, that's not cool, because now I got stuck with a bloody date for the rest of the night.
Okay, so there was like full contact.
Yeah,
that
there was some contact.
Okay.
I'm sure that it wasn't intentional.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
But it gave me a bigger picture of now the dance.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, Nilda was already 12, 13 as my age. And she already had that dance move already in it. So somewhere down the line, there was a crossover. And this is where it's tend to believe that the crossover happened because of my later understanding is of two individuals.
And they are?
One will be Apache,
Okay.
Angel, and a lot of people just know these characters by stage name, but they never know their names behind the door.
Yeah.
So I'll just give you a glimpse. It was Apache, and the other guy, his stage name is a Rubber Band.
And okay, and these gentlemen,
These
right,
two,
the Rubber Band.
right?
Is this the Rubber Band that they say was from the Bronx and moved to Brooklyn or something like that, to that effect?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So
yes.
where were these guys located? Were they located in the Bushwick area, the Williamsburg area,
Well,
East New York?
to my understanding, that Apache was from around the Bushwick section, stuff in Brooklyn,
Okay.
and my understanding of Rubber Band was also in the same vicinity.
Okay.
And they were basically, Apache, yes, he's an MC. Rubber Band is not an MC. They got associated because they're part of that same particular environment.
Exactly.
So now, to my understanding is that Jaime, which is Rubber Band's real name, from the Bronx, he moved into Brooklyn, that particular area. But he would pick up whatever dances were involved there, and then when he would go back to see what's up to his people, he would take that information up there until he finally went up there for whatever reasons on their side, and things happened up there. So there's a lot of people that say, well, this is not the same people. It is the same people, but
Yeah.
it's the same person.
So you're saying that from your visual understanding and from what you witnessed, these two were among the two that transitioned, added more things to what was being done initially, and transitioned the dance into adding more elements into it.
I would label Apache and Rubber Band as the Generation X,
Okay.
the ones that took it from that old biker mentality, and and that's because Apache was more extrovert. He was outside doing it,
Yeah.
not just behind store doors. So people be like at events and they're like, "Why are these guys doing it?" But I'm using Apache as an example that other MCs were doing it. So that's the Generation X that I'm talking about. Rubber Band plays a pivotal role because Rubber Band is not an MC.
Yeah.
But he's a part of that community that was networking, and he was a socialite. He was already out there. The value about it is that Apache was the type that's gonna take you and freaking punch you in the face or kick you, where Rubber Band was more danceable, flexible.
Yeah.
And they called him Rubber Band because he was flexible and he did drops, and of course he had his freestyle.
And this is the
So
Rubber
this is the
Band,
combination.
if I'm not mistaken, that was unfortunately killed.
Well, that'll be more on the Bronx side of it, of what happened, of how he died. Some people say that it was because he he had owed money from some type of joint situation.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know the full details of that.
But
All
he
I
was,
do know
he
is
was tragically killed.
yes, to my understanding, yes,
yeah,
that's he was tragic.
So moving forward, like at what point did you kind of see an explosion in this? Like, from what I've been told from countless people, Brooklyn was riddled with rock crews. All different neighborhoods from Bushwick, East New York, Bay Ridge, Park Slope, Fort Greene.
Brooklyn had as many freaking dance rocking groups as there were gangs in Brooklyn. Remember, Brooklyn is the largest borough in New York, in New York City, actually. So, with New York City, we had a lot of gangs, and out of those gangs also stemmed other dance groups. The crews or the dance troops that developed for the rock. I didn't get to understand that aspect. I can correlate it with the b-boy because the reason why my name is BreakEasy is because I became popular as a b-boy.
Okay.
Okay, and I want to stop right there for a minute because a lot of people are under the impression that I'm an old school rocker, per se in the battle scene as rock. No, and I'll get to that a little bit later. I want to go back to why I am who I am. My name is Richard, like I stated earlier, and I'm known to be popular as a b-boy because that's my ghetto claim to fame.
Yeah.
I'm a b-boy. Hence the name BreakEasy. It doesn't take a genius to see that.
Also, the first b-boy that I ever saw with my own eyes, like my eyes. Okay, so you say your claim to fame was more of a b-boy, but then you were also rocking. Like, like I'm a b-boy, but I can pop and I can do other things too.
That was the big curiosity of my initial startup. The name BreakEasy and stuff comes from the south side, Los Sures, where I'm from, where my crew Breaking in Style. Much love to my family and much love to my Breaking in Style family. Much love to my Breaks crew family. Much love to my BKC family, and all the other crews in Brooklyn, because I'm a very fan of Brooklynite. And one of the groups that I used to get a lot of props to was for royalty. That's why I jumped on the opportunity to say that, because I would see them at every event. Every event, there was always one representative there. There didn't have to be the whole crew, but there'd be always someone there. Right. That also Buster Brown's crew was also getting down and stuff. So it's crazy. So it isn't until I stopped b-boying in 1985. So from 79 to about 85, I was b-boying.
Okay.
I had joined the service in September. I signed the paperwork in September 1985. I know because I have the contract. I didn't leave to go to boot camp until 86. So for the next 10 years, I was under the protection of Uncle Sam. Damn. So it's really 8 years, 3 months, 2 days. And that 10-year slot from, I would say, 85 to 95, I was MIA from the breaking scene.
Of course.
Now, in '95, I'm in a Latin club, and I see inside this club a kid somewhere in the club in the corner doing windmills, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? This is a we're dancing salsa, and this kid's doing windmills, and I come up to the kid, and I'm like, yo, what are you doing here? Like, oh, you don't know anything about this, you know? I'm breaking and doing these windmills, and I'm like,
So
okay.
you went up to him and asked him, what are you doing because you were unfamiliar with the movements or because you were surprised to see people were still doing this?
No, I was surprised at the fact of why is this kid doing windmills with this music,
Okay.
not getting the whole understanding of why is it that you're doing that. Then the kid explained to me that what he is doing is taking advantage of the floor they had.
Okay.
That's why he was in there. So I'm like, okay, cool. So he answered that, and then the next thing was like, what are you trying to do windmills? And dude, I was doing this a long time ago. He's like, I doubt it. You know, you're older. I'm like, okay. Took off my tie, took off my shirt, my days like, ¿qué carajo tú estás haciendo? Like, what the hell you doing? So I'm like, show. So I'm up there doing windmills, and the kid goes, wow, wow, you old school, you old school. I'm like, okay, if you say I'm old school, I'm old school, because that's perspective.
Yeah.
So I asked him, who's your teacher? He says a guy called Pete Rodriguez. Little known to him, Pete was a part of my dance crew, and he was practicing already in McCann Park. This is in '95. This is where I say '95 was my reintroduction to the b-boy scene, and because of the b-boy scene starts the rocking
Okay.
resurgence for me.
So when we talk about the rock reinsurgence,
Reinsurgence, I like
yeah.
that word. Reinsurgence.
yeah,
Okay.
reinsurgence. So we have an era in which it was taking place. It initially came from the Outlaws. There were several crews in New York City.
Yeah, in New York City.
yeah,
And I just want to say just
New
Brooklyn
York
thing.
City.
It's not a Brooklyn thing. It's a New York thing. Yeah.
You know, but we could talk about that too because that's a very controversial topic of late. But let's stick to Brooklyn.
Okay.
What were the crews that you were seeing prior to you going to the service? Can you name just crews? That
Oh,
were,
rocking groups.
Yeah, rocking crews.
Rocking groups. Okay. There was a camp in our location. And I'm looking at the perspective of b-boying, that there was mastermind rockers. That was a b-boy crew at the time.
Okay.
You know, but there was one guy that I used to go to school with at that time. It was junior high school, which was Beam Abichuela. He's a very popular freestyler for Mastermind. He was very good in rocking, and he had very well defined ugly brother, but he had the girls. You know why? Because he could dance. He knew how to have jokes with them and play with them. So he was one of the better dancers in rock that I saw in that area. So he was my motivation.
Okay.
Another person was from a group called Together We Break, and he's the reason why my crew had to always battle in the area, because that was another rival crew in the area, along with Scrambling Feet Incorporated, which is another battle crew in the area. And in Together We Break's camp, they had rockers. There was one lethal guy called Mousy, David.
And this was in, he was in.
This is 1978, 79, 79, 79. I mean,
Okay.
80, 81, 82, 83, 84. That this guy would get down. I'm talking about really rocking.
Yeah.
You know, he would rock. Yes, he did windmills and stuff. But remember, a lot of rockers did become b-boys.
B-boys, yeah.
You know,
And at that time, were there
groups.
crews that were like solely rocking crews?
Yes, yeah, yeah. Solely rocking crew. There was one that was called Oh my God, now I gotta think about this. Taco. Taco was from Arabian Nights. Arabian Nights was a rocking group and stuff. But
Arabian Nights.
Arabian Nights, yeah, they were a rocking group in the area, but they were also a gang.
Okay.
They were also a gang, because if you know the Williamsburg section, they have the Brooklyn Queens Expressway, and there was this tunnel that takes you from the south side in Williamsburg, which we call Osures, to the other south side. And it's funny because even in the south side we had a conflict. If you were from south side, from the waterfront, you were called Osures. And if you were from the same Sures but on the opposite side, you would call the other side. So that's why there was always beef. But there was this tunnel that goes through there, and the Arabian Nights would, if you went in the tunnel with sneakers, you would come out without no sneakers, because they ran that spot.
They ran the tunnel.
They ran that tunnel by green grass. That's like when you know when you go to Kellogg's and you go to, you
And
couldn't go to.
these guys were like a rock crew.
They were a rock group. They were a rock group.
Nice.
Yeah, and you had other ones. It was probably Retrigger, which were the hardcore rocking groups, you know. And this is where it comes down to much later, knowing that we had in Williamsburg a lot of individual rock dancers
Yeah, that happened to
that were
rock.
just nomads. I call them nomads because I'm a nomad. In other words, I was not affiliated to any rock group. You know, just like my date, Nilda Cochero, she was not affiliated to any rock group. She just knew how to rock because rocking for us was a dance. It was just a dance. So it wasn't such thing that I'm gonna kill you, stab you. That those were add-ons later, just to what you would do to the person. But we did that in other dances, you know, because we were freestylers, and that's why when I dance, I'm one very structured, and two I'm diverse. I would say more in freestyle than I do in jokes. But that's because of years of overanalyzing and restructuring myself.
Exactly.
You know?
I get that. Yeah, I
So-
do the same thing.
Now getting back to '96, when I'm coming back in the scene.
Wait, I want to stay in that era real quick.
Okay.
Before we go to the resurgence.
Okay.
We're gonna call this the pre resurgence.
Okay.
Era. The era of it really going down. You know. What were some of the were there competitions? What were some of the locations people would meet up?
Well,
and rock battles would happen. I heard Ringo has talked to me about Lynch Street, the hookie parties.
Yeah.
That some of the some battles took place. And when I mean by battle, I don't mean necessarily organized.
Right.
But places where subsequently, when people got together, an inevitable battle would occur.
Well, for us, it happened at b-boy battles. You know, there was, I could start off with this. In
So
maybe
was it
about
no
80,
parks
19...
or-
well, it was parks too and stuff, and I'll get to another situation like that. Because, remember, in the Williamsburg section, we were just party people. We just went there to dance. There was... You couldn't just go somewhere and say, like, this is a declared battle area for this dance.
Okay.
No. Things happened out of the blue. And I'm going to go into two different scenarios of that. There was a time that my crew had a battle against another fresh creation. Breaking Style had a battle another fresh creation. We're battling at PS 17. This is in the north side, a local elementary school park. We're there battling. And then we're battling for about maybe an hour and a half. And then coming down Roebling, we see nothing but blue and white coming down. And we're like, oh shit, yo, Together We Break is coming down. You know? Because those were their colors. So as they're coming down, we just finished battling another fresh creation, and this is hardcore b-boying and popping, you know. And then it is with Together We Break that we had to battle because they told us that another fresh creation was gonna go under them. So we're like, oh shit, we didn't know this. So we had to battle.
They were warming you up.
Now that we know we just finished battling another fresh creation, we did justice against them. We may not do so good with this group now because now we're going to be wasted. So we got to do routines. So it is this battle that David comes out. Another guy called Big MC and Little MC. Big MC was a b-boy and Little MC was his son. And then this guy was like, I think, 1920. So, but he was representing that because for the group age to be higher was because Together We Break was an extension of a gang or a social club called Together We Chill. If you ever notice, even today, there's a band that has TWC, Together We Chill. Back in that time frame, they had a camp that was a b-boy crew. Now their crew had rockers.
Okay.
This is where we had to come up and go up in rocking aspect of it.
So see, you just named some of the crews that you battled. Like at that time, what would you consider your fiercest battle or your fiercest rivals? Or someone that you, till this day, know this guy gave me good battles.
There would be probably 3 battles that I consider were good. One would be